Um, and so I'll go ahead and ask everybody then just to turn off your cameras and mute yourselves.
But we're in, we don't have to do anything else.
Right, you're in, sisters. You just stay in, you just turn your camera off and mute yourself. Thank you. And of course, as we are welcoming everyone to this session, just give us a few minutes. We will begin just a little bit after the hour, but we're really very glad that you've been able to join us. And as you can see, your chat feature is activated. So as you're joining in, just say hello and let us know who you are. And as you can see, your chat feature is activated. So as you're joining in, just say hello and let us know who you are. And I see Dan Curtin has joined in. Dan, thank you. Dan, we're going to ask you if you would just to mute yourself and turn your camera off, and I will be calling on you a little bit later in the program.
Okay, so we just stop the video?
Right, so just stop the video and mute yourself, but you'll be able to watch the entire thing. We've got about an hour of the program that'll take place.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
All right, sounds good. Thank you.
You bet. Well, okay, welcome back, everyone. For our closing ceremonies, we're going to give a few minutes for everybody to get into this session, but note that your chat box is active, and if you want to say hello and provide any feedback on the weekend or let us know who you are, we invite you to do that. And we thank you for being a part of this very, very special program, especially tonight as we celebrate leadership. We celebrate legacy. So again, welcome, and let us know who you are. And if you have feedback about the weekend that you'd like to share, then please drop that in the chat as well. Not necessarily recommendations for any changes for the future, but if any takeaways, anything that really inspired you, anything that uplifted you, anything that challenged you, feel free to add all of that into the chat. And tonight's going to be just a beautiful celebration. Alrighty, everyone, and again, welcome back to the closing ceremonies of the 2021 Holy Cross Institute first ever virtual convocation. We appreciate your patience throughout the weekend as we were fully dependent on technology to make this possible, but really remarkable that we've been able to gather more than 700 people representing 10 countries on 5 continents around this globe. Holy Cross educators, Catholic educators, board leaders, and students, faculty and staff. Just a remarkable presence and celebration of the Brothers of Holy Cross as we celebrate the 200th anniversary of the Brothers of St. Joseph, and we continue this legacy. I hope you found the weekend to be fulfilling and rewarding, enriching, inspiring, perhaps even challenging. But most importantly, we hope that you found it empowering to go back and do the good work, this mission, this ministry that we are called to prepare the world for better times than these. For this final hour or so, hour and 15 minutes that we put together, we want you to sit back and enjoy as we celebrate the legacies of leadership. The Brothers of Holy Cross and our St. Edward's University president, Dr. George Martin. Before we do, however, I want to ask you again just to give your attention for a few minutes to tonight's sponsor, who is Catholic Virtual. And again, I have to reiterate that we could not do a program like this, quite a bit more expensive than you could even imagine, to put on a virtual program of this nature, had it not been for the sponsorship of our sponsors, the support of our sponsors, and those of you individually, as well as the support that's come from so many of our schools community. So if you will, just give your attention first to our sponsor.
Hello, and thank you for inviting Catholic Virtual to this wonderful event. Congratulations on your 200th anniversary. That is just remarkable. Congratulations. For over 10 years, Catholic Virtual has been serving Catholic schools and families worldwide. Our primary focus is to enable Catholic schools, like those of the Holy Cross family, the ability to provide new educational options to their families, whether it's in the form of a new course offering, a fully online learning option, a dual diploma program for international students, or the launching of a fully branded online school. We even help when the unexpected happens, such as the loss of a teacher, and you can't find a replacement. We're here to help you provide the best educational experience to your students. That's why we provide all the tools, systems, and support needed, allowing you to focus on your students. And because we designed our products and services to be flexible, we work with you to tailor a solution that will help you meet your goals and the needs of your students. For more information about Catholic Virtual and how we can help your school, please visit our website, catholicvirtual.com, or feel free to give me a call at 847-204-3836. Wishing you a great meeting and convention.
Fantastic. Thank you, Rob. And we'll be talking a little bit more about Catholic Virtual. I know that some of you are familiar with them, and Catholic Virtual did a brief presentation at one of the recent president's meetings. But there's wonderful opportunity for us to engage with Catholic Virtual for some online courses, perhaps even dual enrollment type of programs that we're going to explore further for the international community as well as our domestic school community. And so lots of possibilities ahead on that potential partnership. So thank you, Rob. And then we have a very special message for you tonight that's coming from Bishop Bill Walsh, a Holy Cross priest, who is now the Bishop of the Pensacola, Tallahassee Diocese. So Bishop Bill, thank you for joining us.
Hello, I'm Bishop Bill Walsh of the Diocese of Pensacola, Tallahassee. I am also a Holy Cross religious. Before I came here, I was serving as pastor of St. Ignatius Martyr there in Austin, Texas. So I'm very familiar with the community, love it. I know St. Edward's University very well, and I'm familiar, of course, with the Diocese of Austin. Hello, Bishop Vasquez, if you're watching. I'm sure you know, but the Congregation of Holy Cross was founded 200 years ago to reignite the faith of the Church, which had been devastated after the French Revolution. And so especially the brothers and the priests and later the sisters were founded to educate, to re-energize the faithful by preaching parish missions, by opening schools and other institutions of education, and by going to foreign lands to bring the good news there. Holy Cross does this so well, so that now we are worldwide, of course, and reaching so many countries, so many cultures, so many people, bringing the gift of hope and joy and our Holy Cross charism to the world. Even here in Pensacola, Tallahassee, although I'm now a diocesan priest, basically, in this diocese, I'm bringing that charism in my preaching, in my ministry, in all that I do, trying to bring hope and joy and that perspective, helping people to carry their crosses so that they and all of us can experience the joy that is in the resurrection after the cross. I am a product of Holy Cross education. I was actually taught by all three branches, by the priests, the sisters, and the brothers of Holy Cross in various stages. Grade school, some in high school, though I went to a public school, and then at the university and master's level. And so I remember having these brothers and sisters and priests teach me, and I remember just seeing something in them, that joy, you know, that love of life and of the faith. And I thought, even as a young boy, that's what I want. I want to have that, and maybe even I want to be like them. And that's what I ended up doing. And so I'm really grateful for that, and I'm trying to be that joy, that hope for other people as well. We need to revitalize and re-energize the church today. I think you would all agree with that. And so all of us, those of us who are Holy Cross religious, as well as our lay associate friends and those who are connected to us through our parishes and schools and other institutions, we're all tasked with bringing the good news to God's people in such a way that we assist our brothers and sisters, especially those most in need, to carry their crosses, to keep their eyes and their hearts, their minds fixed on what is sure to come, and that is the glory of the resurrection. I'm grateful to the Holy Cross Institute for gathering you together like this. I'm grateful to the Congregation of Holy Cross for helping to form me and teach me the faith and pass it on to me through brave men and women in my life, the sisters, the brothers, and the priests of Holy Cross. May God bless you always. May God bless the Congregation of Holy Cross. May God help us to be people with hope to bring.
Thank you, Bishop Bill. Really, your support for the work of Holy Cross and the work of the Holy Cross Institute has just been extraordinary, and I personally cannot thank you enough. Thanks for taking the time to make that video. And you know, throughout the weekend, you've been exposed to lots of videos, everyone, and I want to thank, at this time, Brother Nick Perez, who has been the director of many of these videos. Of course, the prayer committees as well. They produced, or they directed their videos. And it's no small feat. And so our creative lead through the Holy Cross Institute has been Brother Nick Perez, who's put together the motion graphics and some of the other things that you've experienced through this video technology. So thank you, Brother Nick, for your leadership and participation in this weekend's program. There's been an annual tradition at the closing ceremonies that we would invite students to share their reflections with us. And today we're pleased to introduce to you two students. The first is Sydney Wade, who is a recent graduate from St. Edward's University, and the second will be David Terrell. And I look forward to you hearing both of their stories.
One of my fondest memories is all of my high school teachers and also faculty and staff coming to St. Edward's every year in March. And one particular March that they came, we always have a really good time, and we go out to eat and we will just hang out with each other and we'll see one another. My grandma actually was very, very sick, and she was very close to passing. And I remember feeling very alone when they happened to come that weekend. I felt like I was surrounded by family. I still distance myself to some aspects just because I wasn't feeling like myself, but I remember my professors reaching out, my teachers reaching out, the staff talking to me, and I just felt like I wasn't alone. That, I think, is a huge quality of just being a part of the Holy Cross family. You don't just gain an education, you gain a family. And I think that is something that has stuck with me very heavily and has continued through high school and also college. I didn't just gain an education. I became a better person. I became a better Christian and Catholic. I gained a family. I gained people around me that really matter to me. And I think it's made me a more well-rounded individual in more aspects than one. I think if anything, the tradition has just grown and it's also made itself more prevalent. When I left McNamara, I didn't realize that kind of the same values and traditions were going to continue, and they have, and even past graduation, just being in this sphere of Holy Cross, everything continues. The pillars that we talk about, the cross being our only hope, our traditions, all of that just kind of manifests even more. What makes my education the most special is that I know more than what I've learned through textbooks. I've learned how to be a better individual. I've learned how to advocate for others. I've learned how to voice my opinions in a well-collected, well-phrased manner, but also to get my point across. And I've learned how to be better within my community. I've learned how to serve others. And so I don't think I've learned just what I got from my psychology major, but I also became better. And I think that's something you don't get in other schools. In the Holy Cross tradition, we talk a lot about virtues such as faith and hope and building community, for example. And I think that it's one thing to learn about it and it's another thing to experience it. It's been a beautiful thing to experience it these past 8 years and to not only kind of hear about it, but to be able to see it and also live it. So I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful for the education I've received. I'm thankful for having the knowledge not only that I've learned in the classroom, but also what I think is most important, what I've learned outside of the classroom. I think a big part of that has to do with the teachers and the faculty. And so I want to extend a huge thank you to you. And I also would like to say that it's a very, very tough time right now. And I understand that you might be very overwhelmed and very tired. I get that, and I just want to say thank you because we need you. We wouldn't be able to do this without you. We wouldn't be able to do Zoom University without you or Zoom High School. We wouldn't be able to continue to learn, and we wouldn't have these amazing examples if it weren't for y'all. So even though I might not be the best person to say this, please don't give up because please know you're appreciated. We love you, and I'm very blessed to be a part of this family.
Since day one, my first walkthrough of Notre Dame, West Haven, is the core value of cultivating the heart and the mind, and not just learning traditionally from textbooks and in classrooms. Being able to take more away from your education as a person, as a young man, growing, changing, making mistakes throughout the last 8 years, and having the support of an incredible staff, faculty, coaches, mentors, just to be there to guide me through that process, more than just learning and reading, has been instrumental in my life and something I carry with me still. Both high school and college were incredible experiences for me. I had opportunities to experience things I never had before because of Holy Cross and the faculty there in both high school and college. In high school, I really was able to start finding a sense of self. I remember I was going to quit the football team after just a short while. Coach Joe DiCaprio wanted to sit down and have a talk with me about why I was quitting. That we both knew I was not ever going to be a star football athlete. And so the fact alone that he wanted to have that conversation, even knowing kind of where I was in the sport, made me realize the kind of people that work in the Holy Cross organization. And that's something that I'll never forget. And I can count dozens of those experiences throughout the years, each with a different person in this organization that have really made an impact on my life and given me something to remember and build on in the future. Develop a sense of service, a sense of leadership, with Mr. Abbott traveling to South Bend, Indiana, Austin, Texas, and just being a peer counselor at Notre Dame. And again, it was that personal relationship that really showed me that he, as well as my other faculty, cared about the progress that we were making. Coming down to St. Edward's after that has been special, and it made me feel very much at home, even though I was 2,000 miles away from where my home had always been. The last 8 years gave me so many things to think back on and be grateful for. And I would not be the same person I am today and be able to sit here and say thank you if it was not for all of those friendships with faculty and the peers that got the same benefit that you guys provided for them. So to all the teachers, faculty, and staff, we are all so grateful for what you do, especially in such a difficult year. So we want to say thank you, and please continue to do this for generations to come, as we will always carry these memories, experiences, and relationships with us.
Thank you and welcome back. So Jeffrey and Sydney represent just 2 of the 110,000 students around the world who are being taught in Holy Cross schools, colleges, and universities. So you want to begin to think about impact, right? The work that we do and the impact, the difference that it makes on the world, that's really pretty extraordinary. And all of us have Sydneys and Jeffreys in our schools, right? And we see them grow from girls and boys to men and women. We see them grow in their confidence, in their competence, in their courage to go into the world and make a difference. And recently, in a conversation that was being had among a group of campus ministers, the question came up of what's the one thing, what's the one message, the one thing that we want our students to walk away from with their Holy Cross education. And that's where the hashtag Hope to Bring was born. We want these young men and women to go into the world and bring hope to the world, to be disciples with hope to bring for the coming kingdom of God here on earth. We must teach them to have the competence to see and the courage to act. And so that hashtag of Hope to Bring, we hope that you'll continue to use that again and again on your own social media sources and continue to cultivate that hope in our students, especially in this tragic, difficult year that we've had this last year. But there's still reason to hope. There's always hope in the cross. And so, and you've heard those messages resonated again and again and again throughout this weekend. So we thank you. Again, thank you, Brother Nick, for those beautiful videos. Thank you, Brother Larry Atkinson, for identifying the students who we would feature this year. You've been doing that for a lot of years for us. We hope that you continue to do that. And then, of course, I want to give another shout out very quickly to the team here on the backside of the program, and that's AJ Valverde and Jesse Guerrero and Laura Sanders and Brother Nick. Remarkable accomplishment to put together a weekend like this with so many program offerings. So thank you. And next up, as we talk about leadership and we look towards the future of leadership, we have a wonderful opportunity tonight to meet the president-elect of St. Edward's University, Dr. Montserrat Fuentes. And to introduce Dr. Fuentes, I'm going to call on my colleague here at St. Edward's University, the provost of the university, and a member of the Board of Governors for the Holy Cross Institute, Dr. Andrew Prahl.
Thank you so much, Marco, and good afternoon, everyone. It is my distinct honor and privilege to introduce the president-elect of St. Edward's University, Dr. Montserrat Fuentes, who will take office as president of St. Edward's on July the 1st. Dr. Fuentes previously served the University of Iowa as Executive Vice President and Provost and Professor of Statistics and Actuarial Science in the College of Liberal Arts and Professor of Biostatistics in the College of Public Health. She also previously had administrative and faculty appointments at Virginia Commonwealth University and North Carolina State University. And she's also served as the director of the Network on Statistical Methods in Atmospheric and Oceanic Sciences, which is a National Science Foundation funded center to promote multi-institutional and interdisciplinary research training at the interface of statistics and atmospheric and oceanic sciences. As you might be able to tell by that, Dr. Fuentes' scholarship really exists right in the center of global stewardship and care for creation. And she is an internationally recognized scholar, having authored more than 100 scientific publications and served as a principal or co-principal investigator on more than 20 research grants with a total funding of more than $28 million. Since 2019, Dr. Fuentes has been a principal investigator of an NSF Advance Award for $3 million to promote diversity, equity, and inclusion. Dr. Fuentes has earned many honors and accolades for her scholarly work, including recognition as an American Statistical Association Fellow for outstanding contributions to mentoring and advancement of statistical methods. In 2012, she received the United States Environmental Protection Agency's Scientific and Technological Achievement Award for the development of an air quality model evaluation framework that fosters scientific credibility for model applications. She's also received awards from North Carolina State, the Equity of Women Award in 2013, and the D.D. Mason Award in recognition of her outstanding leadership in 2016. More recently, in 2017, she was awarded the Medal of Distinguished Achievement from the American Statistical Association, the Environmental Statistics Section, for statistical methodology contributions, leadership, and mentoring roles. Now, with all these scholarly accolades, as well as in all of her leadership roles, Dr. Fuentes has promoted a transformative educational experience, focusing on enhancing student success and promoting experiential learning, with an unwavering commitment to inclusive excellence, establishing innovative programs and partnerships while seeking fiscal sustainability and building a culture of appreciation, all of which will do a tremendous job of supporting our Holy Cross education at St. Edward's University. Keeping with the liberal arts tradition and an education of the heart and mind, Dr. Fuentes is a first-generation college student who received a dual bachelor's degree in mathematics and music, piano performance, from the University of Valladolid in Spain, and a PhD in statistics from the University of Chicago. As president-elect of St. Edward's University, Dr. Fuentes has already demonstrated support for the work of our Holy Cross Institute, attending many of our webinars over the last 6 months, and we are thrilled to welcome her to this year's Holy Cross Convocation. Please join me in giving a warm virtual welcome to Dr. Montserrat Fuentes.
It has been rewarding and very exciting to be part of this inspirational convocation, offering opportunities for networking, for fellowship and prayer, as we all came together from around the world to celebrate as a family of Holy Cross and Catholic educators our heritage, following the call of our own vocation and preparing together for the future. I am very grateful to Marco Clark, Director of St. Edward's Holy Cross Institute, for making it possible for all of us to come together. As we build the path for a better future, we need to reflect on who we are and where we are now, being always guided by our own values and being reminded of the charisms that guide the mission of Holy Cross and inspire our actions. We need now, more than ever, during these difficult times, the strength and the hope that comes from working together for a common good. Exercising the Holy Cross charisms by advocating for the poor and oppressed, focusing on serving the community, and educating the minds and hearts of our students. Difficult times like now, reveal our true character and that of those around us. The current crisis and unprecedented circumstances do not make a person, but they reveal what type of person we are. As the president-elect of St. Edward's, I am excited to continue building upon the impressive foundation and the legacy that the congregation of Holy Cross priests, brothers, and sisters who have served as teachers, administrators, and spiritual leaders at St. Edward's University have carried for over a century, celebrating and enhancing the transformational role that as an educational ministry of the church we play, focused on our students, committed to intellectual excellence, the community, and social responsibility. I will be proudly committed to meet students where they are and taking them where they need to go, changing their lives in the process. Seeking to educate students who, as global, responsible citizens and leaders in business, professional, and civic life, who live by the highest intellectual and ethical standards. Creating an environment in which integrated learning is a shared responsibility pursued in the classroom and laboratory, studio, athletics, and theater residence and chapel. Promoting shared responsibility for the life and governance of a university that should lead all its members to make the best of their own talents, to work together, to be sensitive to one another, to serve others, and to seek justice within and beyond the Holy Cross community. If we truly want to participate in the life of Holy Cross and carry the vision of Father Monroe, our founder, it is clear from the last few days of reflection that we need to accept an invitation to be part of an ongoing dialogue about some of the most basic human questions. What is the moral character of teaching and learning? What are our responsibilities and obligations to one another? And what is our special responsibility and our commitment to the world's poor, neglected, and powerless? It is important that we always acknowledge and respect our differences as we continue to engage in this type of dialogue, followed by a call for action. I am confident that all our Holy Cross special communities of learning here today, with a shared love for our mission, can sustain the core values of honesty, diversity and inclusion, social justice, and a devotion to service and learning that our students need and our society demands. I would like to end my remarks with a prayer of hope to ask God to return us to be better as the current storm passes. It is actually a poem by Alexis Valdez written in Spanish called Esperanza, which means hope, and is featured in Pope Francis' latest book, Let Us Dream the Path of a Better Future, that I would highly recommend. This poem inspires me every day, and I use it as my daily prayer. I will read it to you, translated to English, wishing that it brings to you la esperanza, the hope it brings to me. When the storm passes and the roads are tame, and we are the survivors of a collective shipwreck, with a weeping heart and a blessed destiny, we will feel happy just for being alive. We will hug the first stranger and praise the lack of not having lost a friend. And then we will remember everything we lost, and all at once we will learn all we had not learned before. We will no longer be envious because we have all suffered. We will no longer be lazy and will be more compassionate. What belongs to all will be worth more than that never achieved. We will be more generous and much more committed. We will understand how fragile it means to be alive. We will sweat empathy for who is and who has left. We will miss the old man asking for $1 in the market. We didn't know his name, although he was next to us. And perhaps the old man was your God in disguise. You never asked for his name because you were in a hurry. And everything will be a miracle, and everything will be legacy, and life will be respected, the life we have won. When the storm passes, I ask God, full of sadness, to return us to be better as he had dreamed we would be. Stay well, and let's work together to build Holy Cross communities of learning, marked by freedom, love, mutual respect, and civility. Thank you. Thank you for joining the Holy Cross Convocation.
Such inspirational words by Dr. Fuentes, and I know this community, of course, owes an extraordinary debt of gratitude to Dr. George Martin, who momentarily will be celebrating. And as we welcome Dr. Fuentes in her opening talk that she gave to faculty and staff a few weeks ago, she referenced that book by Pope Francis, Let Us Dream, A Path to a Better Future, a book that Pope Francis wrote during the pandemic, and one that helps to give us a guide and challenges us. It says that as we enter into this world again, that we must do so seeking healing and reconciliation, and of course, making the world a better place. And so Dr. Fuentes, as Father Monroe said, we believe for the very first time to Leo Katie Gascon, who became Mother Mary of the Seven Dolours, the foundress of the Maronite Sisters of Holy Cross. His words spoken to her were, "You are for Holy Cross." And so we welcome you to St. Edward's University. You are for Holy Cross. And as we transition now, we have a beautiful gift from Dr. Martin and the Holy Cross Institute and the St. Edward's University community to the Brothers of Holy Cross as we celebrate the 200th anniversary of the Brothers of St. Joseph. So enjoy.
Because of the brothers, I educate the mind and the heart.
They inspired me to humbly serve my community in different ways.
They have taught me with discipline.
I have learned how to apply faith and love in all that I do.
They brought a joy and love to Monroe Catholic High School.
Desenvolver trabalhos sociais, como campanhas de doações, que ajudam pessoas de maior vulnerabilidade social na minha região.
For 10 years, the Brothers of Holy Cross have shaped me to become who I am.
Always valued and admired their humility, their tremendous blue-collar work ethic.
And at the 12 years, my brothers are very sweet, very helpful. Each and every part of my journey,
we have deep-rooted traditions and a template of Holy Cross values to live by for the future.
That will always accept every child, every person, all day, any way, no matter who they are, what they are, where they're coming from, it's okay.
This is uma experiência super divertida.
By teaching me how to depend on my core values and virtues.
São de Santa Cruz me formou como pessoa e como estudante.
It really prepared me for all the situations that you could face from day to day throughout your life.
A decent education that aims at training the heart, the body, and the mind.
They have become an inspiration to all of us.
I have learned core values that have left a permanent mark on me as a person.
So brothers are always in our lives.
I learned not just to be a leader, but a Holy Cross leader.
I was blessed to have educators and role models who are authentic witnesses to the love and teachings of our Lord Jesus Christ.
Loved my time here, learned a lot about discipline, and obviously the quality of education with academics through the brothers was tremendous.
Being formed and educated in a different way.
And the brothers gave me hope.
E parabenizá-los por nos motivar a ensinar livre e responsavelmente e, sobretudo, a manter uma perspectiva de futuro.
Without the Brothers of Holy Cross, we would not have a St. Edmund's Academy. They've left their positive mark on the entire community.
Manners, discipline in us.
Eu aprendi a importância da educação como uma ferramenta de diálogo e uma forma de enxergar o mundo.
So grateful and blessed to have had that experience. It really increased my faith.
உருவாக்கினர் அவர்கள் தொடர்ந்து இந்த கல்வி பணியை சிறப்பாக செய்து வருகின்றனர்.
Santa Cruz se torna projeto de vida e isso nós devemos aos irmãos.
I have the confidence to see and the courage to act.
They are the reason that I have taught at Monroe Catholic for 41 years. Thank you, brothers.
To the Brothers of Holy Cross, thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you, brothers.
And we wish the Brothers of Holy Cross even greater success.
Quero dizer-lhe muito obrigado.
I would say thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Thank you, brothers. Thank you, Holy Cross, for making my life a beautiful one.
Thank you, brother.
I want to thank them for all they've done for me.
Thank you so much, brothers of Holy Cross.
Obrigado.
Thank you, brothers.
Muito obrigado.
Thank you, brothers.
Thank you, brothers.
Thank you.
For your love and legacy in the education of hearts and formation of minds. Thank you, Brothers of Holy Cross.
And so we say, thank you, Brothers of Holy Cross. You have been our mentors, you have been our role models, you have set a foundation. And I hope that all of us that have participated throughout this weekend, all of us who are blessed enough to work and teach in Holy Cross schools recognize that we are a part of something much bigger than ourselves, and that we are responsible to continue this legacy, this beautiful legacy that has been transformative and making a difference in the world for 200 years. And we just know, we just want you to know that we continue to pray for you, and we continue to pray for more vocations, and we continue to pray for the faculty, staff, students, the leaders in our schools, that they may be strengthened and guided by Father Moreau's vision, by this mission and educational charism of Holy Cross, and by the legacy of whose shoulders we stand on today, and those shoulders are yours. So we say thank you, Brothers of Holy Cross. And as we begin to close our event and this weekend, we want to take a moment to recognize as well the longtime president and the person who had the vision for the Holy Cross Institute, and that's Dr. George Martin. I've heard it said that if your actions create a legacy that inspires others to dream more, learn more, do more, and become more, then you are an excellent leader. Dr. Martin, you have done just that. Not only is the future of St. Edward's University in great standing, but your dream and vision to found the Holy Cross Institute has created a home for the living legacy of the 200-year history of this tradition, this mission, this charism that is as needed and relevant today as it's ever been. And so, Dr. Martin, in recognition of your leadership, the Holy Cross Institute is announcing today the creation of the Dr. George Martin Brothers of Holy Cross Leadership Award, which will be given annually to that individual or organization who demonstrates transformational leadership, a zeal for mission, and support for the Holy Cross Institute. Dr. Martin, as we recognize you and celebrate your years and your legacy here, we've invited a few special guests to offer a few words this evening. And so I will call them in order and ask that they share a few words of reflection. And so first, I want to call on Dan Curtin. Mr. Curtin.
Thank you very much, Marco and George Martin. I think of the years that I've been associated with Holy Cross, there is no one who has carried the mission of Holy Cross and Blessed Father Moreau forward as much as you have. You know, I think about the message that Bishop Bill gave, and that is hope to bring. When I think about the hope that you have brought in your leadership of St. Edward's University to thousands and thousands of young people who have been blessed to go forward from the university and serve people in different settings across the world. You know, it's always been said that you are for Holy Cross. As I like to rephrase that and say, you are Holy Cross. You are Holy Cross. In spite of that Jesuit background, we won't hold that against you, but you are Holy Cross. And George, we wish you God's blessing and in your years ahead of good health and happiness. God bless you and thank you so very much, George.
Thank you, Dan. And for those that don't know, Mr. Curtin served many years as the chair of the Board of Governors for the Holy Cross Institute. He was also the first lay principal of a Holy Cross Brothers school in the United States at Mackin Catholic High School in Washington, D.C. And obviously a career educator and truly for Holy Cross. Thank you for that, Dan. Brother Ken Haters, Provincial Superior of the Midwest Province.
It's certainly good to be here today. It's been exciting to be a part of this outstanding educational experience that this convocation has been. And it's greatly due to the inspiration of Dr. George Martin. We all know that the Holy Cross Institute serves as a resource for materials and information, but perhaps even more importantly, the Institute engages Holy Cross educators locally, regionally, nationally, and internationally to promote the charism, values, and traditions of Blessed Basil Moreau and the Congregation of Holy Cross. It's really exciting that this live stream convocation, that we have had participants from 10 countries on 5 continents. More than 2 decades ago, Dr. Martin joined the St. Edward University community as president. He very quickly came to experience not only the mission of Holy Cross at St. Edward's, but the culture that was the legacy of a great band of men, a long line of brothers, and their hundreds of collaborators who have embraced the Holy Cross mission and who want to learn more about it. Being an astute leader, Dr. Martin knew that it was important to be more intentional in articulating and promoting this Holy Cross educational experience. Along with his leadership style, Dr. Martin began having conversations with a small group of brothers who understood the need to develop ways of authentically preserving and promoting the Holy Cross mission into the future. This would require ways to continue to develop and share information on our Holy Cross history and experience, as well as to foster formation for all of our Holy Cross educators, for board leaders, administrators, faculty, and staff. Thus began what is now called the Holy Cross Institute at St. Edward's University. It's brought us together virtually this weekend, and these conversations that Dr. Martin began have left a wonderful legacy. As the Institute began its journey, Dr. Martin perceptively realized the impact students already fluent in Holy Cross heritage would have within the Holy Cross University community. And he thus began the St. Edward's University Monroe Scholarship for students from Holy Cross schools to come to St. Edward's and be, in a sense, further food for the Holy Cross experience at St. Edward's. Each year, these students from the Holy Cross high schools had a profound impact on the new freshman class at St. Edward's. This year, we celebrate the 200th anniversary of the founding of the Brothers of St. Joseph. They began a mission that has continued to educate hearts and minds of so many in ways that have enabled students to address the issues of their time. It's my privilege to express profound gratitude personally and on behalf of my brothers, many of whom attended St. Edward's University, to Dr. George Martin. You have joined us in our journey and have left your own footprints for others to follow, not only on the campus of St. Edward's University, but also in the hearts of thousands of our fellow Holy Cross educators. The legacy of the Holy Cross Institute, for which you were the catalyst, is nothing less than the formation of a vibrant community who now know how to share and how to celebrate their shared charism, values, and tradition. Together, this community of Holy Cross educators impacts the lives of new generations to understand their call to develop the competence to see and the courage to act to create a better future. Thank you, Dr. Martin, for being part of this band of men. It's been an honor to work with you.
Thank you, Brother Ken. And as you referenced the Monroe Scholarship here at St. Edward's, you know, today there's about 100 students on this campus from all over the world who have the honor of that Monroe Scholarship. And so thank you, Brother Ken. Dr. Martin, we have another surprise for you, and Sister Donna Jurek, who has joined us today from Cincinnati. And of course, you and Sister Donna spent many, many years side by side. So Sister, it's your turn.
George, this is very, very special for me. So I am delighted that Marco called and said, would I do this? I'm also glad that I could squeeze it in between. We had province meetings all weekend. And so I said, you've got to have it at a time where I can do this. I actually intended to cover a number of things that Ken and Dan Curtin have already covered, so I'm going to skip them. But I even so wanted to do it in a very different way. I am terribly distressed in a sense that I wasn't in the garden on Thursday night when you dedicated a wonderful tribute to the brothers. I have read and reread that tribute a number of times over the last couple of days, because in addition to knowing it's a wonderful tribute to the brothers, I kept hearing you in it. And that was incredibly special to me. I want to go back and look at what I have to say out of that insight, because I think it was the culmination, in a sense, of your leadership of Holy Cross over more than 20 years. And as I have watched it live over those 20 years, you know, I think, and Ken, I think, alluded to this, I think a number of us wondered if you could outgrow your Jesuit background when you were brand new, but it didn't take but a day or two to figure out that that was not a problem. That clearly we were going to be Holy Cross, and it was safe to, you know, let you have that in the background, but it wasn't going to interfere with anything. But that Holy Cross, somehow you got it and it got you. And it meant something in everything you did. I think also, I want to say a word, even though Ken has dealt with it significantly, about the Holy Cross Institute. I still remember on the sidelines, you and Brother Stephen Walsh getting together, and I think he had a lot of influence in some of this, but I also know it couldn't have happened without you. And what I think was incredibly insightful in the whole movement toward the Holy Cross Institute was the insight you had that the Brothers of Holy Cross tradition brothers as special and different from the rest of the Holy Cross tradition needed to be lifted up and continued. And that the Holy Cross Institute, gathering together the institutions that the brothers had so creatively developed and formulated over the years, was a way to do that. I think that is important for the Institute now and for the members of the Institute, but I think it's incredibly important for the living memorial of Holy Cross going forward. And another piece where I want to touch on it differently than Ken did is the scholarships for the students. You know, I did work side by side with you for 20 years, and I know what you think. I know how you believed in what the brothers had created and were doing and what had been entrusted to you. And you knew really and instinctively that leadership comes from all areas of the institution. But unless it comes from the top in terms of the mission and vision and charism, it does not live permanently and permeate the institution. So I have watched you do it with administrators and faculty and staff and boards, and to a certain extent, the Austin community and even national and international endeavors that you touched. But you also knew that it had to permeate the students. And so the scholarships were an incredible vision that brought the students from the Holy Cross Institutes that we've celebrated all weekend and that we just heard from. And we heard from the students. It brought them to the freshman class, but they leavened that class. And then the sophomores, juniors, and seniors kept, and by the time they were seniors, they were running the place. It was a vision that goes back to why that garden speech influenced me so much. You talked about the brothers, but you were so permeated by that it influenced everything you did and was incredibly special. And I thank you because it was life-giving for me, it was life-giving for the institution, and it will be life-giving for the continuance of the Holy Cross Brothers' vision and charism in our world. Thank you. And thank you for letting me be a part of it for so long. God bless.
Thank you.
I so wish that we had the opportunity to celebrate this evening together in a ballroom together in the Maybe Ballroom, and yet this is second best. And I'm so grateful, sister, that you were able to take time to be with us and share those very powerful words. And when I first came here to this position, the Holy Cross Institute in St. Edwards, Dr. Martin said the very thing to me as well. He said to learn that what the brothers do is different, is special, and we need to continue that. And he gave me a recommendation to speak to somebody on campus who would reflect more on that, and that's Father Peter Walsh. And so, Father Peter, you are next up.
Thank you so much, Marco and George. It's great to celebrate you and to celebrate with all these other wonderful voices of your contributions to not only St. Edward's University, but also to the Convocation of Holy Cross, especially through this wonderfully successful institute that you had such a huge part in. Earlier this week, I used a phrase, a statement from Father Monroe as the beginning of a prayer. It's it just reflects a lot of your leadership qualities when Father Monroe said, "Our union is a powerful lever with which we can move, direct, and sanctify the world." And I always have been amazed at the two parts of that statement. The one is how aspirational it is that, you know, we're gonna move and direct and sanctify the whole world, and we're gonna do it by educating one child at a time, you know. And the sanctify is especially aspirational for anybody dealing with education, but that it comes about through forging different people into a union. And Father Monroe had his own struggles with the three identities and the personalities. So it's a task that you know well as an executive, as a president, and one that I've always admired about your abilities. I'm the one person a direct report is speaking as part of this today, but your ability to kind of channel and encourage and motivate, especially the senior leadership, the cabinet, who all have different agendas and all have very different talents and you know, different perspectives that they bring to the table, and you're able to keep it all that fire and energy together, good times and bad. And it brings me to the one characteristic that I've always associated with you. It comes out of Greenleaf's servant leadership. And in campus ministry, it's one of my real joys to interact with the different leadership components on campus with student leadership training. And I often servant leadership, and when we get to the characteristic called conceptualization, it's always a very difficult thing to talk about, because it's how the servant leader not only is a dreamer themselves, but enables others to think at that high level. And I've always said, well, you know, if you want a really an incarnational perspective on what it means to be good at conceptualization, you should try to sit down with Dr. Martin, because your ability to conceptualize, but also to allow the dreams of others to really flourish. What we've been saying today really shows the beauty of that, you know, both the Institute, also the Monroe Scholars that I personally benefited from, because all those super active students have fed into campus ministry programs, made them so successful. A beautifully canopied campus that was not here. All those trees, there weren't that many here when you came. And so even being able to see our hilltop as a place of shade and gathering spaces, it's just a beautiful vision. And you've enabled others to live out their dreams of what this campus and what Holy Cross education should look like. So cheers for that. It's the characteristic that's I find the most admirable as somebody who often gets stuck in the mud. You've never allowed me to stay there. So thank you so much. I appreciate your ability to work that lever in all of us to really be our better selves.
Thank you, Father Peter. Such a beautiful quote by Father Monroe too. Union is that great lever at which we can move, direct, and sanctify the whole world. And so beautiful. Thank you. And thank you as well for the background that you have, the virtual background that you're using today, because we get a chance to see the garden. And Father Peter as well took some pictures of it during the great snow that we had just 6 weeks or so ago. And as we're now in spring and things are beginning to bloom, I just look forward to the growth that garden will continue to have. So beautiful. And then last but not least, as we pay tribute to Dr. Martin, I want to turn it to the Superior General of the Monroe Province of the Brothers of Holy Cross. Provincial Superior.
Thank you, Marco. Thank you, Marco. I'm so grateful for this opportunity to speak about Dr. Martin, about George. Whenever I have an opportunity of this nature, especially to talk about St. Ed's and Holy Cross, I always, my heart and my mind turn to one place, and that's the Soaring Oak. And the plaque that is on the rock next to the Soaring Oak. And that the first words of that on that plaque say that St. Edward's University stands today as witness and servant to the vision of education of the Congregation of Holy Cross as witness and servant. And that plaque was put there by one of his predecessors in 1993. But George, you have taken that to heart, and you have made sure that that was your charge, that you treated that with respect and great care, that this was yours to continue. In fact, what I have come to appreciate more and more as the years have passed, that was your vocation. That is your vocation. Where, in the words of Frederick Buechner, where your deep gladness and the world's deep hunger met, to provide and to continue and to promote and to live the Holy Cross charism. I remember one of my first when I wasn't visiting here, but when I had started as the executive director of the Institute, one of the first things I was asked to do was to speak to a group of faculty. And this was really my first experience, so I didn't know what they wanted. They just wanted me to talk to them about Holy Cross. So I said to them, well, let me just start here. I said, Dr. Martin, and immediately they said, well, that's the first words out of his mouth whenever he talks. It's Holy Cross, it's charism, it's what we're about. I said, well, then you really don't need me here because you've already got the talk. You understand. And that is true, that whenever you speak, whenever you preside, whenever you're present, whenever you're with someone, what you talk and what means most to you about this university is the heart of its mission, the Holy Cross mission. And that is so deeply profound, and it has such a wonderful effect on everyone who is here. You show that you're not just a collaborator. In the words of Father Monroe, you are Holy Cross. And we, the brothers, honor that and reverence that in you. And we are so grateful for what you have done. And you have led this university for these many, many years in a way that is appreciated as the days pass. So that it is the language, as others have pointed out, that it is the language we speak. We speak of Holy Cross. Everything comes back to is, how does this fit in with our Holy Cross character? How does this fit in with what we're supposed to do as Holy Cross? That is never not mentioned in any conversation. And for us, you have never left us out. We're not, we are part of, you have always included us. And in these days when you're a minor presence like this, and I don't mean to minimize our presence, that's not what I'm saying, but you have made sure where we have very minimal presence within the workings of the university, except on the board. That's not minimal, I know that. It's, you have always included us and respected that experience and that position and all that we have learned so that we can share it together. So I'm grateful, George. I'm grateful to you in more ways than you could understand, more ways than you could know or even that would mean anything to you. You have been a profoundly gracious and loving friend to us. You have taken a ministry that we have taken and developed, and you have brought it forward in unbelievable ways so that it is certainly positioned for a very successful future, George. So I'm glad this is your deep gladness. I'm glad that what you have done. We are profoundly touched and profoundly grateful. And I'm overusing that word profoundly, but it is that deep for us. So thank you for all that you have done, and congratulations. And we'll continue our close relationship. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, brother. And indeed, we will continue that close relationship with you, Dr. Martin. We know that the university, I'm sure, has planned many other ways to give you the much deserved recognition that you deserve. And but in a small way, the Holy Cross Institute wanted to recognize you in this way, and especially in this thoughtful and meaningful way with the individuals that you heard from today. And this new award that we've created, of which you're the first recipient, but this new award that we've created will be one that helps to serve as a reminder. And I actually quote from your letter, from your remarks at the garden. You said that my hope is that this garden will remind us every day of the brother's great gift. Well, my hope is that this award will remind all of us in Holy Cross every day of your great gift to this community of schools and school leaders, to this university community, and may it inspire us to follow in your footsteps, to serve our students with love, and to educate both their hearts and their minds so that they will not only learn much, but also use their knowledge wisely to advance the cause of social justice while trusting in God's providence and embracing the message of the gospel. And for us, George, that's what this award will do. That's the model and example and the witness that you've given us. We've been trying to keep this a secret so that you didn't know that this was coming.
No, I didn't. I didn't know.
And so before we close out, I wanted to give the opportunity. I didn't ask you to prepare any remarks, but if you felt so moved, that we would give you that opportunity tonight, George. So it's all yours.
Well, a president never leaves without saying a word or two. You know that. First of all, I want to say how deeply, deeply grateful I am, how honored I am to be the first recipient of that award. How deeply grateful I am for all of the kind words that I've just heard from the people I care very, very deeply about, and who worked with me long enough to really know who I am. So to hear them say those kind of things is very, very near to my heart. I do want to say a couple of things. One is that as I thought about the Institute, and because one keeps going back as one's leaving to how things started, when we were beginning to put the Institute together, how struck I was by various conversations with brothers about how much brothers trust in providence. And I was struck by that as Brother Stephen and I traveled around the country and met people at different schools and in brothers' communities. And I've heard it over and over again in informal conversation and in informal addresses by brothers. They always talk about providence. And I was thinking this morning, I don't know why, but as I was listening to Denny and to Terry later on, how without God's protection, the Institute would never have come into being. I had some silly thoughts about the night that we got together for dinner, Brother Stephen, Brother Richard Kritz and Brother Richard Daly, and we first talked about it, how differently it could have turned out if Brother Stephen was extra stubborn that night and didn't come to dinner. He didn't really want to come to dinner in the beginning. He came around to coming to the dinner. And I love Stephen, as you all know, but he could be stubborn too, as we all know. And so he came and he embraced the idea. And I have to say this so that everybody hears it. There'd be no Institute without Brother Stephen. There would be no Institute without Brother Stephen. Brother Stephen executed the idea and led it. He led it to the various constituents, and he led constituents to the idea. And he maintained that while he was alive and the executive director of the Institute. And I think we all have to remember the generosity of Brother Donald Blauvelt and Brother Joe Giolanza, who had other assignments they had to carry out while they were being executive directors of the Institute. Without them, it wouldn't have continued. And then we had Brother Tom Zekian, and we were so excited as he came off his international responsibilities, and he was thinking about new ways to really enliven the Institute and energize the Institute. And then lo and behold, he never even got started before they elected him provincial. But his influence has remained, and his support has remained, and we are grateful for that. And then Marco, whoever would have thought that someone of your dynamism would have come in and be the first lay leader of the Institute, which we all envisioned in the beginning. And then you came to us, and you have done something just beyond belief in your just 1 year. And here we are, over 700 people assembled, the largest Holy Cross assembly in history from what we can determine. It is just a wonderful, wonderful gift from God and from Providence. And I would like to reflect on just two things. Comments by Denny this morning and Terry this afternoon. Denny talked about how nothing really becomes part of an institution just because the leader says this or says that. It really has to be embraced by the community. And Terry talked about how the table of the church, the discussion about the future of the church, has to be enlarged to include more and more people. And it came to my mind at that point how one of the most important decisions, if not the most important decision that we ever made in the beginning of the Institute, was to make it clear that the Institute was not St. Edward's University Institute. It was the Institute, the Holy Cross Institute at St. Edward's University. We basically entrusted the university and our support of the Institute, I should entrusted the Institute and the support of the university to the participants, to the members, to constituents of the Institute. That was so important because the Institute then really became in service to all of the members throughout the country originally and throughout the world now who are members. The other thing that struck me was, as I looked at our students and I thought about our students are part of the Institute's constituents. And because of that, because we listen to them in our conversation, we get a preview of the future through their eyes, through their minds, through their thinking. And that is one of the most promising gifts for the Institute as we move forward, for the carrying forward of Brother Basil Monroe's vision, and for the work, the incredible work of the Brothers of Holy Cross and the special charism that has been their gift to all of us. So what a way to end, at least for me. Not that I'm still gonna be part of it, but in one sense, it is an ending and a new beginning. And I can't think of a better way to end. And I just feel so honored and so privileged to be part of such a wonderful community. Thank you.
Thank you, George. Your words and your witness inspire us, and these stories are so important for us, for the people that are participating this evening, those that'll tune in later, because all of this is in our recordings. And just again, we can't begin to thank you enough for your words and your witness. And one last thing that I want to be able to announce to you this evening. Earlier, Dr. Golden, 48 years in higher education, 28 years in Catholic higher education. He said that there are 5 M's to Catholic education, and he spoke them in order, and they are mission, ministry, mystery. He spoke about the presence of the sacraments, that's the mystery, management, and then money. And where there's no money, there's no mission. And part of what Brother Stephen and you envisioned in the beginning was to build an endowment so that this office could continue to live in perpetuity. And that's part of the commitment that I've made, is to continue to grow that endowment. And I also heard that in your lifetime here that you've raised almost $200 million for the university. $198 million is what I've heard. And how much of a great gift that would be as if you could leave here having reached that $200 million milestone. So what I'm really pleased to announce to you, George, is that we are going to be the recipients. We've been written into someone's will and have been granted a $1 million bequest to the Holy Cross Institute. Just signed, sealed, and delivered in the last couple of days. And so we're 1 million away from that goal of helping you to reaching that $200 million mark. And so as a final gift from the Holy Cross Institute to you, I wanted to be able to share that. And for the audience, as you listen to this, this will be administered through a challenge grant program in the future, beginning as early as the spring of 2022, because this donor wants to begin to make the contributions while he's still living. And then this bequest will become ours. And so I'm just really very pleased and honored to make that announcement to you tonight, George.
That's wonderful. Yes. Thank you.
And so folks, as this program begins to come to a close now, I want to again thank all who made this event possible. You know, we had over 50 volunteers that helped to put together all of this, run activities throughout the weekend. Of course, the long, hard hours that people like AJ Valverde and Laura Sanders and Brother Nick and Jesse Guerrero have given to this, our speakers, the talent that was shared, our sponsors, but most importantly, everyone, we thank you, because we are for Holy Cross. We do this together. And as we depart this evening and we begin again this work of resurrection, I want you to know that the Holy Cross Institute is here to support you. We're here to serve you. And we also will be praying for you for a successful conclusion to this school year and for a continued vibrant future. This past year has been difficult for so many reasons, and it's easy to lose hope, and it's easy to fall into despair. But I'm reminded that in the face of despair, hope, real hope, is a revolutionary act. Things do not have to be this way. We must continue to pray and work to prepare our students for better times than these. The great spiritual writer Henry Nouwen spoke about the difference between hope and optimism. He said that the optimist speaks about concrete changes in the future, whereas the person of hope lives in the moment with the knowledge and trust that all of life is in good hands. And as Holy Cross priest Father Lou Delfra recently stated in one of his Lenten reflections, hope is a gift, a divine gift offered by God right into our hearts, and then seeps from our hearts into our limbs. And so in a year where hope has been tough to come by, it's imperative to let yourself feel it when it comes. And if remembering how to hope is difficult, we hope that this weekend, the inspiration, the knowledge, the resources provided through the Holy Cross Institute Convocation, we hope that this will empower you and strengthen you. We want you to know that we pray with you, we pray for you, and we continue to pray for you and your vocation. Our prayer for you is to be ever open to God's gift of hope, which our classrooms and our communities so desperately need. So I ask you to stay on the lookout for some new resources. There's a great new book that we will post to the resources page of the Holy Cross Institute website, written by Whitney Daly from Gilmore Academy in Ohio. It's a reflection, a 30-day reflection with Saint Brother Andre. We also have the new Holy Cross map that shows and highlights where all of the institutions are in the United States and the countries that we're in around the world. Those are free and downloadable to you. And then there'll be the Holy Cross prayer book that'll be coming out later this summer. We hope that you follow us on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and YouTube. We have information that comes out every day and inspiration that comes out every day. We continue to share this mission and this message. And I again want to just thank you all for your support and your involvement throughout the weekend. I hope you found it beneficial. Please keep your eye out for emails from us, follow-up emails. We have certificates for you, certificates of attendance that you can share with your administration to acknowledge your participation in this program, a feedback survey, and then of course we'll have links to the recordings. And please don't hesitate to reach out to us. Just know that you are in our prayers for a successful conclusion to the school year and for a restful and rejuvenating summer. And until we talk again, let's remain disciples with hope to bring. Ave Crux Spes Unica. May God bless you all and have a good night. Thank you.
Good night.
Thank you. Mhm. Hmm.